I can explain. I promise you I can explain. So everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andy Leon. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not new, what's popping, what's good? Happy 2021. We're back again. My favorite 2 weeks of 90. I've got so much to tell you. But like, don't worry, like chill. Like I got you. So I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened. My life has changed. Like a 180. Like I've had a whole 180 switch up. So to give you guys an update, basically, last year, right? Remember I told you guys that I was going to be more consistent, right, with posting. Literally, guys, that very same week, right, after I released that video, there was this drama in my life, dude. Like there was this drama, and I didn't understand what's happening. Like I was fighting with friends, I was fighting with it. It was just a mess. Like I was all over the place, and then from there it just kept going south, and then about 2 weeks after that, or 2-3 weeks after that, I had to leave Johannesburg and I had to go back home. I didn't have a place to stay. I wasn't finished with my degree. So now I was stressed because I'm like, okay, sharp, I don't have a place to stay, so I can't be in Johannesburg. But at the same time, I have to finish my degree, so how am I going to do it? Luckily, praise the Lord Jesus Christ, there was lockdown. So when lockdown came, I was able to go home, and I was able to do remote learning, like the online situation, which was great because I was home. And yo, guys, can I tell you, the flight back home, I was broken because at the time, remember, I wasn't aware of the lockdown. So I left Johannesburg, I think it was on Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure, and lockdown was happening the following week. So when I left Johannesburg to go home, I thought I was done. I thought Johannesburg was done. I was child. I didn't come back with a degree. You know how embarrassing it would have been, like, to go home and just like, because I made so many promises to my mother and now I have to come back home with nothing. Like I was so hurt. Like I sat through like that flight. It was the longest flight of my life, but it was like an hour long. But it felt like it wasn't gonna end. And I was crying on the flight. I was just a mess. And when I got home, I spoke to my mother and I told her everything that happened, and she was supportive. And she was asking like, so what's the plan? Like how are you gonna complete your degree? Because I had one more module to finish and then my degree was done. So we had to think, okay, then how am I going to, go back to school, or at least like be able to complete my degree even though I'm not staying in Johannesburg. And then I had a cousin who lives in Pretoria. She was just like, no, dude, like come live with me, and then like until you finish your degree, and then like you can see like what you do going forward. I was like, cool. So I was supposed to leave. So I had made a flight. I don't remember the dates, guys. It was a long time ago. Also in PTSD. I'm just traumatized in troms. But there was a day. It was about 2 days after lockdown. So I booked for 2 days lawyer, and still announced lockdown 2 days before. Do you see? So now I was stuck in KZN and I couldn't come back to Johannesburg, which I mean wasn't the worst idea because I didn't actually need to stay in Johannesburg because of the lockdown. And so I was like, it's cool, like I'm just gonna stay at home, that's great. We're gonna save money, but at least we don't have to buy groceries where I'm going to be staying, or pay rent, or whatever the arrangement is going to be. So I chilled at home for like a while, for a while. I think it was like 3-4 months if I'm not mistaken, and it was really difficult. I think also the most difficult thing for me was feeling like a failure. I felt like I failed my mom. I felt like I failed myself. I felt like I failed my family. Because, when you leave home to go to varsity, people always, they expect you to come back with a good degree, come back with, like a good job, and the whole 9 yards. So anyway, like the months went by, I was studying at home. I was like, at least there must be something that I come back with, even though like I'm not in Joburg anymore. So I sit and then like I was studying, I was writing the online tests, writing the online exams. Things were going okay. And then I had to come to Johannesburg, right? Because now like it was lockdown had like the lockdown regulations had been eased. So I was able to come back to Johannesburg, and then when I was here in Transkei, yay! Guys, it got worse. It got worse. It got worse. It got worse. I don't even know how to, like, you know, when you think your life can't possibly be worse than what's happening now. It got worse. It got worse. I got sick. I got infected with the COVID. Like, it was a mess. I was all over the place. Like, it was just a disaster, man. Like, I really, I wish I had the time to go through, like, the nitty gritty like details of the nitty gritty details. Sorry, yes, the nitty gritty details of everything that had happened, because so much happened in such a short space of time. There was family drama. I lost my grandfather. I got sick. School suddenly wasn't going so well. Like, it was just a lot of different dynamics that were coming into play, and I really thought, okay, Sharp, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna, like, I don't know, I have to fight. I have to try and like find a way to exit this year. So I pushed, like, I did what I had to do. I tried my best, and I was studying, and I was trying not to focus on the other things. Like, I got medication for the situation, and that was done. And then around November-ish, right, it was time for the exams. So I studied for the exams, and then during my exams, like my exam season situation, I had a fight with my cousin. Now at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Surely there's something out there in the universe that is conspiring against me, because how are things going south? Like, good domino effect. If one falls, the other one falls. It was a mess. It was, it was a mess. It was all over the place. I was tired. And I think when I was about to write my exams, I was just emotionally drained, because so much had happened throughout the year. And now that, like, I need the most energy, like the time that I need the most energy, I don't have it. I wasn't studying anymore. I couldn't do much work. Even if I was trying to study, it just wasn't going in. It was just a mess. It was a mess. And I remember, I think the module that I was doing had around 9-10 chapters, and I think of all of the 10 chapters, I probably knew like 4, like, that I knew, you know. So the other ones, it just wasn't working. It wasn't happening. I tried to study. I couldn't study. I tried to focus. I tried to write notes. Nothing was working. And I was just like, okay, so that means I'm going to fail, because I'm not going to pass this thing. Like, I was doing tats and I was failing them. Even after seeing the solution, they still didn't make sense. You know, I was just like, okay, you know what? It's fine. Looks like we're going to fail this year. And I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't have money to go back to Wits. Also, I think I was like on my last throw, you know. Guys, exclusion is a real thing. Like, I think had I failed, it was done. Like, there was no more Wits for me. So I was like, you know what, dude, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave the rest to God. I'm just gonna write my exam. I'm gonna study the best that I can, and I'm gonna go and write my exam. The day the exam came, right? So, or the day before the exam, I was still studying. And guys, do you understand that the day before the exam, I had 3 modules that I still hadn't touched? Well, 3 chapters of the module that I still hadn't touched, because I was trying to focus on the other ones. And I remember saying, you know what, it's fine. I'm just gonna have to sacrifice these ones. I'm just gonna have to like learn the other ones really, really well, so that even if like these ones come out, at least if I lose these marks, I'm gonna get marks for the other one, right? I was like, sharp strategy. Let's go. So I studied the day before, slept early, nice times, nice life problems, and then I went to the exam, right? Got to the exam. When I opened that exam, majority of that exam was the stuff that I did not study. And I sat there and I was just like, surely, guys, no. Like, you know, when I don't even know how to, guys, like, I don't know how to explain it so that you understand the fact that every single thing was going wrong. Like, there was nothing that was going right. Like, everything was just falling apart. So I'm just like, guys, this is the one thing that I needed. The one thing that I needed to go right. And also it went wrong. And I sat there and I looked at this paper. I think I looked at the paper for a good 45 minutes. Even I went past reading time when the lecturer said you guys can start writing. I was still reading because I was in disbelief. I'm like, what are the chances? I learned all those other chapters, and the ones that I didn't learn are the ones that are majority of the paper. I was just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just, let me just write, because what else am I going to do? Like, I'm just going to write. So it was like, it's fine. I wrote the exam. And I remember just saying, dude, this one, it's late. Because I met with my friend afterwards, and we were chilling by her car, and we were discussing the paper, and she was telling me that, yeah, no, you should have done this, you should have done that. And I was just like, I didn't do any of that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I wrote, I just don't remember what I wrote, but I don't think it was what you're saying. So I must just forget. That's fine. I need to find an alternative. I have to find another university to register at, maybe one closer to home, so that I'm able to, finish this module. So cool. I go back home. When I go back to my cousin's place, my cousin and I have another argument, right? So my cousin didn't know that I was going to go home. So my cousin was like, so we had an argument, and then she was like, you need to leave my house. And then I was like, good, thank goodness I've written, so that's done. So I was like, no, it's cool. She didn't know that she didn't know that I had started writing, and she also didn't know that I was already done writing, because I only had like one exam. So I was like, no, it's cool. Literally the following day, I packed my bags, I cleaned the room, like proper spring cleaning, I washed the bedding, shrama kabete, snow nice and clean, nice and spooky, nice and packed everything that it belonged to me, and I left, and I went home. And I remember thinking, like, on the flight back home, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm back here again, because I remember promising myself that I'm never going to go through the initial flights, well, the emotions that I went through in the initial flight when I went home for the first time. I was like, there's no way, I can't go through that again. So when I found myself in the same position where I'm like, I don't even know if I have my degree, it's just amazing. If I'm going home, when am I even going to come back to Joburg? Also, why am I even coming back for what? Because if I don't have a degree, then I cannot get a job. If I cannot get a job, then how am I going to, survive in Johannesburg? So I was like, okay, cool, the Johannesburg dream is dead. Let me just go home. I'll just take December to just go through my emotions, to cry, and, do everything. And then afterwards, I'm going to try and find a way forward, right? So cool, I get home. That happens, we chill. And then also during the year, right, I had been applying for funding, like during the year. So I'd even forgotten up, like, because things were going so bad, I was like, I'm not even going to get funding. Even if I do get funding, they're probably going to ask for like an average that I don't have, because I don't think I passed that. Like, I don't think I passed it. Like, I was sure that I didn't pass that paper. I was sure that I didn't even get a sub. I was like, yeah, no, here. It's late. I was like, yeah, it's late. And then I was like, okay, no, cool. What's the way forward, right? So Johannesburg is out. What do we do when we're here? Do you go back to school? Do you find a job? Like, what do you do? So I thought about that. And then I think it was around the second week. Yes, it was the second week of December. I got an email from Wits saying, no, congratulations, there's been a sponsor who's willing to sponsor you, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh, okay. At least I don't have to worry about my fees. There's something going right. Oh yes, there was also another concern, because I had outstanding fees. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to be able to come back to Wits, because I won't have the 50% that they want me to pay in order to register. So I was like, Wits is cancelled. It's done. So when they said, no, someone is willing to pay those outstanding fees, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, yeah, let's go. And then this person the company sent a contract. And I read this contract, I was like, literally, the condition is that you need to pass the year. And I was like, I know, it's fine. Like, okay, cool. It's fine, it's whatever. So I'm not even gonna bother myself with this. But I was like, let me just sign it for the sake of signing it, and just hope and pray that some miracle happens. I don't know how, but like some miracle happens. And I signed the contract, and I sent the contract back, and they're like, okay, it's gonna become effective after the results come out. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then on the 11th, it was the 11th of December, that I remember. On the 11th of December, they sent me an email again saying, no, your funds have been allocated, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, but how are you guys allocating funds when when you don't know if I made it or not? But I was like, I'm not gonna ask. Do not ask questions. Listen, if someone is giving you money that you need, don't ask questions. Leave it. Just take the money. Like, don't ask questions. So I didn't ask any questions. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Do what you gotta do. I'm away. And then on the 21st, the results came out, and then I actually made it. I don't know how I made it. I don't know how I passed. Till this day, I am shook. When I saw my results, I was just like, how? Because I remember writing that paper, and I remember saying, yeah, even if 14, I said, you will never see it. Because for me, it was that bad. I felt like it was that bad anyway. So when it came back, the marks were really good, and I passed. And then now it made sense, the fact that they already allocated the funds, because they probably had seen my results before, or stuff like that. So, I forgot something very important. The day that they sent the email saying the results, the funds have been allocated, I told all of my friends, I was like, guys, I just got a bursary, I'm gonna get my fees paid and all of that stuff, right? And then my one friend who I actually live with now, you guys are gonna meet him, because yeah, we're still gonna be busy on this channel, chat. So the friend that I'm living with now sends me a job post. He's like, no dude, just apply for this job, because just apply. So I applied for the job. Even then, I still had that mentality of my things have been going wrong, so even if I apply, I'm not gonna get the job, whatever. I do that. They call me 2 days after, those HR questions, just to verify that I sent the application, all of that stuff. So I answer the questions and I forget about it. About a week after that, they call me for an interview. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I go for an interview. It was a Zoom, these digital dons, these things that you guys use. So it was one of those, and I did the interview, and the interview went relatively well, but also at the same time, I don't think I answered my best. So I was just like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna make it. It's a proper company, and how many other people applied, probably better marks even, who probably also delivered better responses during the interview. So I canceled that as well. Whatever. We'll find another one if it comes. If it doesn't, as long as I know that I have a degree, it's good. I don't owe its money, so I can just stay at home until things happen. But at least now I know that I have the resources to go back to Joburg. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, it's cool. I'll apply some more. Even then, after that, I still applied. And then they called me and they were like, you got the job. I didn't even. I don't know what to say. And I feel like everyone who follows me on Twitter knows that I've been manifesting a job and my degree for the longest time. 11 was just degree span. Those were the only two things that I wanted. And I got do you understand that my life went from a downward spiral for a whole year to being everything that I've been praying for in the space of 3 weeks? I couldn't believe it. Till this day, I'm shocked that even happened. But that's just how things were. And then now I'm back in Johannesburg and I'm working, and I'm back on the YouTube channel because I'm so going singularity. Life is starting to make sense. So yeah, that is my life update. Also guys, I'm really sorry that I took this long to get back to, my life was just falling apart, and now that you're watching this, maybe you're gonna understand that there was no time, there was no energy to go and do YouTube. But yeah, we're here now, we're back, and we're going to make up for all that lost time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe. And everyone who has subscribed, thank goodness you guys didn't unsubscribe, because it would have broken my heart. I found all of my subscribers were still there. And other people have been sending me texts also on social media, just asking when's the next video. And I couldn't answer because I didn't know. So I thought this was the perfect time to start everything, because I've started my life afresh. So I was cool, let me just get into the game and just do what I need to do. So thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is Andy Lomfanze Mandi, if you don't know. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye.